speaker, who is Adam Walsh, who's the Regional Manager Europe for STAR, and Adam's going to talk to us about distribution strategies. Over to you, Adam.
Great, thanks very much. Listen, I mean, it was really fascinating listening to all of those presentations, and it actually made me want to change mine a little bit. I will just make a few comments because I think, given the year that we've had, I think a few messages came from Catherine, Michael, Ben, and Svetlana that are really important. And one of the things that Catherine was talking about is the importance of partnership, of cooperation, of collaboration in order to drive recovery. Michael was talking about really keeping in touch with your partners and really sort of account managing them and making sure that they know that you're still there and that you're part of that network. And Ben, highlighted something really important, which is the importance of people within all of this, and how, but people buy from people, yeah. And the other important thing that he said was that the businesses that use this period to become transformational are the ones that are going to go forward and do great things. And then Svetlana, one of her slides showed the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. I thought that was really useful, and in fact, all of those kind of things together are a similar message to what I'm going to be talking about, which is how to optimize your distribution, and hopefully by the end of it you'll have got something to take away. So let me introduce myself firstly. My name is Adam. I have been in travel for about 35 plus years, and a long time ago, and it was really in a way shocking to listen to Svetlana talking about robots in hotels and stuff like that, because when I first started in hotels in the early 80s, we'd go and work with hotels, and it was in France, and these hotels were only open 16 weeks of the year because they were in a ski resort, and as a guest you could only arrive on a Saturday, and you could only stay 7 or 14 nights, and that was it. There was no sort of choice in it at all. And now we're talking about robots, and it's almost like a Star Trekian time warp that we've in my lifetime. So I mean, really interesting. The last few years I've been dealing mainly in distribution. I worked for wholesalers and vacation rental companies, distributing accommodation product into OTAs, travel agencies, and stuff like that. And my experience with hotels, I've not been a hotelier, so there's a little disclaimer there, but I've met with thousands of hotels. I've worked with tens of thousands of hotels, and I have to admit that quite often I actually stalk hotels online and try to, put myself in the guest's shoes when I'm online, trying to book something on a hotel, looking through the pages of their online presence to see, how they are, how efficient is it, what is the guest journey like. So that's my view over the next few minutes, and the perspective that I'm bringing to the show. Now, it's difficult, obviously, with this screen in front of me. I'd much prefer to be just having a chat rather than having to do a PowerPoint, maybe with a beer or a coffee, and talk to you. So what I'm going to be talking about is quite generic, yeah. And you're all very individual with your own hotels, properties, each with its own needs. So the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is generic. If anybody wants more detailed, specific advice or help, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect and talk to you about your specific needs. but I know I've met lots of hoteliers, and you are fantastic people. Yeah, you work so hard, you have hospitality in your blood, and you always want to do what's best for the guest. And the big challenge over the past year, and calling it a challenge is a huge understatement. It's been it's been an iceberg of a challenge, and hopefully the fact that you're all still here raring to go, and that certainly when we look at the UK, the vaccination program that's been put in place, that the anticipation is palpable of things getting back to more of normal, and hopefully things, restrictions easing, things opening up, and looking forward to a huge bumper summer, as this pent up need to travel that we're all very, very aware of. On Monday, when the announcements were made, all of the people that I was talking to, all of the accommodation operators in the UK that I talked to, were reporting really, really positive figures, record-breaking figures. So there is that pent-up need to travel, and I know that all of you as hoteliers are looking forward to that and preparing for that. So hopefully what I'm going to discuss in the next few moments will help a little bit. Now, what I was going to talk to you about was differentiating channels, understanding what your distribution is all about, and then I was thinking during the earlier presentations, I was thinking, well, really what I want to make you do is I want you to fall in love again with your distribution partners. I was looking at some figures, and I'll show you the graphs, the graphics in a minute. I was looking at Booking.com, which is a huge success story. Booking.com has been phenomenal for many of you, but I get this impression that with many of your partners, your channels, your distribution outlets, that often it's a love-hate relationship. It's like having that family member, that uncle that's really, really successful, and at all of the family reunions, he's always boasting about how wonderful he is and how rich he is. And you have to go along because you're hoping that one day he's going to drop dead and leave you something. But Booking.com is one of those things that you work with Booking.com, but it's not just Booking.com. There's over 40% of the traffic that's generated to your direct website is going to be coming from Booking.com and other connected OTAs. If you manage to capture that, and convert it, then you're getting that free traffic thanks to your connection with Booking.com. So all of these things are important to understand when you're putting together your distribution strategy. Now, I'm hoping to keep this to about 10 to 15 minutes, and that will leave some time for questions afterwards. And as I said, what I really want you to take away from this is that the distribution strategy that you put in place, you need to look at it holistically. You need to look at every aspect of how that customer gets to you through the channels directly, all of the contact points that there are in that journey, and make sure that, as Svetlana was saying, and again, really important message, is that all of those little things can be optimized. And another thing that came to mind as well, which came up last week, that a very small change over time can make a huge difference. So lots of small changes in your operations or the way that you do things will have a huge benefit to your business over time. So that's the start. We've discussed a little bit about differentiated distribution. The first picture I showed you was actually the Amazon, and obviously the Amazon is the largest river in the world. It's also the largest company in the world with Amazon, and it's very obvious why Jeff Bezos chose Amazon as his company name. But the interesting thing about the Amazon is that it's a huge pipeline, a powerful pipeline delivering water into the Pacific Ocean. But it's made up of 1,100 tributaries that actually go into Amazon. Yeah, so everybody talks about Amazon. So if you think about you as a hotel and as a destination, then you want to get your pipeline, okay, coming into your hotel with as many tributaries as possible, okay, not just reliant on one or two big ones like Booking.com, Expedia, etc. You need to have your own pipeline. Yeah, Booking.com cannot be your pipeline. Yeah, you've got to really expand that and push it out. And this one, for example, this chairlift going up the mountain, this is distribution up the mountain, and it's measurable. This chairlift can take 25,000 people up the mountain, okay? But the mountain has lots of chairlifts. You need to have distribution coming in from all areas, depending on what kind of product you have. Yeah. So where do we start? Let's take a look at 2020. Okay. This is a little graph that shows our partners, which are the main partners that our hotels are working with. We connect to about 120 different OTA and distribution partners. And this is last year how it was. Now, it's not a surprise to see Booking.com at the top of that list as, the biggest global partner for a majority of hotels. Some of the others, perhaps you won't be familiar with because they are relevant to the regions where we have a very strong presence, like Southeast Asia, New Zealand, India. But if I go through those, okay, and this is where we come to the differentiation. The first one is an OTA. The second one is an OTA. The fourth one is an OTA. The fifth one is an OTA. The sixth one is an OTA. The seventh one is an OTA. Okay, so there's this huge strength within OTAs, within online. Okay, and you guys need to look at that and see, is that delivering to you? Yeah, is it delivering to you? Michael was talking about the commissions that you're paying out to OTAs. How do you get around that? Going back to my example of early days working in the French Alps, the first few hotels that I used to go to when I was contracting, the hotel, I'd go and say, hi, we'd really like to work with you, and we're going to send you customers. We're a big company, and can we get some allocation? Could I get 2 rooms each week to sell, and can I get commission? And so to both of those, the answer was no. You can, if you want to sell the room, you can phone up. If it's available, you can pay the normal price. Yeah. So things have changed, but what you guys have got to do is look at what you're getting, look at the information, understand the distribution that you have in place, and tweak it. Yeah, all the time. Tweak. Now here, if you look at the third bar, this is direct bookings generated through Booking Engine or through direct bookings coming in via email or via phone. So, if you're looking at your own distribution and you're looking at who's your top producer, yeah? Is it Booking.com? Is it another OTA? Is it your own direct website? Yeah. Ideally, you want to be aiming to move your direct website up to the top of the list. Yeah. One of our customers came up with a great trick, which very simple, and all of you can implement it. It's simply to put a little Facebook Messenger bot on the website and to engage with the customer when they got on the website. And they actually, over a period of about 2 or 3 months, they got their direct bookings to overtake Booking.com as the most productive channel for them. Yeah, so all of these things you need to look at. I'm going to show you the one, as we're in the UK, I'm going to show you the results for the UK particularly, And you'll see there again, in this particular case, direct bookings in the UK for our customers are second just behind booking.com. If we go through though, it's still, there's a lot of OTAs there. Of course, all of you know hotel beds. Many of you will work with wholesalers. Do you know enough about the wholesalers and the channels that you're working with? Wholesalers obviously are little doorways into extended networks, distribution networks. Hotel beds will work with thousands of other resellers. In this particular case, what I would consider kind of a differentiated channel, it shows up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, which is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah. Now that is a curated channel of hotels, very different to a standard OTA. It still works in the same way as an OTA, but again, that's where I can start to see some differentiation for people that are working with that kind of channel. Now, when I'm looking at my partners, I see that on average, and we provide a channel manager's product, so we have 120 channels available. On average, probably 80% of our connected hotels only connect 5 or 6 channels maximum, and you look through them, and it's the usual suspects. Yeah, it's the usual ones. It's booking.com, it's Expedia, it's HRS, etc. But you're going to get a lot more variety, a lot more strength, a lot more robustness in your distribution if you look at that long tail and start to develop new partnerships. And it could be other OTAs from different areas with different regional strengths. It could be more corporates. It could be local partnerships that you put in place. But all of that's going to strengthen your position going forward. Okay, before you go into that, you have to be very clear about what you are selling. Who are you? What is your product? Yeah. If you're going to be your requirement, your needs can be very different if you're a Heathrow Airport hotel, or you're a 4-star country lodge, you're an urban city centre hotel, or you're a beachside retreat, etc. All of these things are going to play, but it's very clear that all of those types of stereotypes, you need to understand who is going to want to stay there. Yeah, who is going to be coming to stay with you, because the channels is what's going to connect them to you and hopefully drive traffic to you and to your property. Okay, a little bit more about understanding your customers as well, and I think it's really important to understand why they're choosing you as a destination. Particularly, if you're in a city, an urban hotel in a city, and you're surrounded by 10 or 15 other hotels, all offering pretty much the same thing. Why do they come to you instead of one of the other hotels? Is it purely on price? Is it availability? Is it you have some additional facilities that the other hotels don't have? At certain stage, you've got to build this differentiation and understanding of differentiation, because that's what you end up selling. Yeah, if your customers are coming to you because you have a pool, yeah, in the city centre, that's going to be one of the main USPs that you're going to be pushing across all of your sales channels. Yeah, so it's really important to sort of deep dive into that understanding of what made that customer choose you as a destination to go to. Yeah. Okay, a quick short commercial break to talk to you a little bit about Star. You can read through the numbers. I was just going to pick out 1 or 2 kind of key elements. I see a lot of hotels with booking engines, for example, that are not optimized properly. Where you know, technology is fantastic, but it needs to be taken to its optimal level. Quite often people get carried away, they get so excited about, oh yeah, we're going to get great technology on board, and then they don't take the steps necessary to actually take it to the level where it's going to be the best it can be. Yeah, so they don't put the best photographs, they don't put the best text, they don't put you know, the best headers, the footers, etc. And all of that's really important to ensure that it does what it's supposed to do. Yeah. So Star's been in the business for 12 years. We predominantly provide channel manager service, and you know, it allows all of the channels to be connected. Your booking engine, your reseller partners, your GDS, for example, if you're using GDS, all of those things can come into a single area and drop into your PMS. Okay, so I don't need to explain to you what a channel manager is. You can all do that. But you know, the right technology is really important. But what I think the most important thing is that whatever technology you're using is that you take it to the maximum, that you really do all you can to make it work the way it was meant to work. Anyway, a little bit more about Star. We have some smart pricing functionality within the booking engine. You can book itineraries and multi-stage checkout. So all of those kind of things, highly recommend you go and have a little visit and see whether your technology is providing the same kind of functionality. So are you ready for the future? You know, it's very unknown. If anything has taught us anything about the last 12 months, is that we can no longer you know, really say what's going to happen in the future. All we can do is understand that we need to improve, optimize, get our businesses into the best shape possible, and get ourselves ready for whatever the future brings. Yeah, whether it's everything is hunky dory and going. Oh, that's my timer. So I'm going to reset my 15 minutes. But anyway, let's quickly run through the rest of it and leave some time for questions afterwards. The big question is, what do you do next? I think, you know, certainly from Svetlana's presentation, where it was a lot to do with understanding the minutiae of your operation, of what you're doing, it's really important to kind of have that looking glass and look closely at what you do and what you can improve. And then my question is, how big is your Amazon? You know, how big is that pipeline that's coming into your hotel, driving customers to you, and so on? Let's just get rid of that.
Thank you, Adam. Can I ask you to just wrap up in the next 30 seconds, please?
Okay. Listen, this is the kind of the network of different connectable, weavable channels and distribution partners that you need to kind of build into your strategy. Local, international, national, offline, online, direct, third-party channels, OTAs, DMCs, TMCs, tour operators, Meta, GDS, wholesale, corporate. Apologies for that. Google, of course, the big giant in the room. Multi-channel, omni-channel, social is a huge one as well. And Michael touched on subscriptions and memberships. And also another important one is vouchers and gift vouchers, which obviously drive revenue to you in advance of stay. So holistic view of distribution, and really it's a manifesto for never-ending improvement. Okay. So hopefully you've had something that will drive you, even if you ask yourself some of those questions over the next few days and look into how you're doing things, then hopefully you'll see a way to improve them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. That's great. And you know, one of the key takeaways for me was it's about taking some risks with your distribution and, you know, not just with the direct bookings and the different ways you can work on getting more of those, but also trying different channels. And you know, this is the time to do it. So thank you very much.